Hello, this video will critique the primarily red pill phenomenon of debate culture on the internet today. First, I would like to apologize for not uploading in the past 2 weeks I think. Like most people, I can get tired, I can get busy, and I'll admit I can even get lazy. And that's why I didn't have a video out for a while. But I realized that just kind of makes the whole internet worse, because it's only the really dedicated extreme YouTubers that are just pumping out all the videos that get a lot of views, and I just don't want to contribute to that. Even though my channel's extremely small, I'd still be contributing to it in a way. So let's just go right to the video. Sorry for the detour. So, debating people is nothing new, of course. In the classical era, we already see examples of spoken debate, such as Cicero's Catilinarian. However, our obsession with spoken debate has advanced with the development of long-distance communication technology. We can see this with the advancement of presidential debates. According to the Commission on President Debates' website, there were a few significant presidential debates before 1960. In fact, the only non-primary presidential debate before this one was the famous one between Lincoln and Stephen Douglas. Only in 1960, when the television had entrenched itself in American households, could a publicly visible debate between two major party candidates be held. Now, with the proliferation of the internet in the past few decades, the public's fascination with spoken debate has only grown. I really don't know how else to say this without beating a dead horse, because most of you should be aware, if you've been on YouTube for a while, just how much debate content is out there. It's just obvious at this point. Think of Jubilee and its 50 different debate formats surrounded, the one where they all step up. I don't even know anymore. Think of the debate me bro stereotype. Think of the numerous theology debates that are on every religious channel's page. Think of those annoying neoconservative debate bros like Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk. I'm thinking of that one guy I saw one time, Dean Withers. I feel like he's a progressive response to that, but he's even worse, more insufferable. And just think of it all. As a culture, we have really just idolized debates and these debate bros. Why? I think that people have this idea that making people confront each other face to face will somehow encourage truthfulness. They think of it as a raw moment where things are confronted directly. It is indeed a raw moment in a sense, but it doesn't actually encourage truthfulness at all. You've seen it. People in these debates incessantly use gotcha questions, and they've developed this sort of stereotype of coping where someone's unpacking the question and deeply explaining it, but they're depicted as stumbling over their words instead. So, in other words, to quote Reagan, if you're explaining, you're losing in these kinds of debates. Now, all of this leads to a clippable moment where one debater can paint themselves as the clear victor. Speaking of which, debate clips are the worst part of this. Although they can serve as fun teasers for the debate and draw attention, their comment sections are all insufferable, and they all have cherry-picked places to make the person who posted it seem like the victor. So it's pretty clear to everyone that the modern internet debate culture is deeply in error. But since this has been demonstrated, we need to now dissect the fundamental error in the mindset of the debate bros. Without this, the video would just be rambling about a vague problem. After all, I'm not arguing against this particular format of debate in general. I'm arguing against the way we perceive it. The fundamental error is that we tend to view this debate format as the optimal way to find truth. We tend to view these debates as the ultimate test of a man's ideology. If he can argue his point well, his ideology is vindicated. Someone who can't debate well or doesn't want to debate is depicted as avoiding the truth. However, there are many elements of these debates that actually hinder the process of finding truth. As I've already gone over, the public nature of these debates leads to a distorted perception on the part of the audience. Also, the spoken format leads to imprecise and confusing language. Finally, the aggressive idea of winning or losing a debate forces some to double down on erroneous ideas and refuse to concede certain points. Thus, while I will admit that these debates are a great tool to find truth, they're inferior to other formats like back-and-forth written refutation and in-depth discussion. Now, I know those previous two formats don't always work because they're sort of inconvenient. It's inconvenient to read 5 million back and forths, which is why I allow space for these kinds of debates. However, I feel like there's just a tendency to overemphasize them. Being white-pilled is realizing that these debates aren't everything. Red